the second term, when it was after this party, he also came with a program for down this time for sustainable development because the assassinated is now sustainable. So that is a very important point to bear in mind. Remember I said the Western Kenya government had two developments, 55, 60, 65. Our government had two developments, in 1923 and 2027. Now, in addition to these roadmaps, he also prepared development plans for the states. Importantly, in 2024, he launched a long-term plan for the state, which is called Agenda 2040, right? That was launched by our government. And in order to ensure that these programs, his roadmap, development plan are implemented via the budget program, he not only conformed with the federal government's arrangement of having MF, NTFSD, and all, he also insisted that each agency of Oyo State to have what we call medium-term sector strategy, which is to be used to implement the budget. And in doing so, importantly, this governor also made sure that there were consultations in each of the 7 geopolitical zones, and they found time to lead a lot of them personally. He did not depend on anyone as if an executive person. He was there personally to lead that project, to hear from the people and ensured that what they say in those meetings, which are drawn from his plan, are inserted in the budget, which are then implemented, and that's what you see in the various strategies from outside the state to implement that. Our government also avoided the project abandonment syndrome that we have. One of the unique things that our government did, and there are projects, let me not mention one, the Akoko Bridge. You remember the Akoko Bridge? It has been on for years. While other governors come and do and say, I'm not here to do what I do, I'm here to do my own. He actually started and completed that. What he did therefore is he integrated the programs and projects of previous administrations into his own and moved along with them, because they belong in one sector or the other of the state development agenda. He also introduced the state of the state address, which is what we should bear in mind. And finally, he maintained a well-motivated, trained, and satisfied public service. And that is manifest in the fact that during his own regime, there was industrial peace in Oyo State. That is a major achievement. So, with those 5 major, legacy, if I can call them now, legacy, steps that they are taking. The question now is, we now move into reimagining the desired future. Again, drawing on our governor's, statements, inspirations, and desires, we can begin to start talking about what kind of future would he actually want us to be living in after he has left office. Because a leader that is thinking of not just when he's there, but is thinking of what will happen after he has left is a leader indeed. So, sir, my own instruction from your statements and from other ideas everywhere, we can say Oyo State is part of Nigeria. Therefore, let us see what kind of future should Nigeria create within which Oyo State will then operate. So at the national level, I was going to suggest that we should have a functioning and efficient public service. A functioning and efficient public service that will then create an environment for a state, which is Oyo State, to operate, successfully. We also want a society where
there will be no fear of security or movement from here and there. Security must be addressed. We must also have a society where, and this is very important, politics should not be seen as a business. Politics should not be seen as a business. It should be seen as an opportunity to serve, not an opportunity to be served. That is very, very key, and that's a national milieu issue. Also, we would like a society where transparency, accountability is prevalent, and a society where the relationship between the public sector and the other stakeholders, in particular the private sector, is cooperative, not adversarial. In my discipline, economics, public sector is replacing the private sector. What our governor has done through OSIPA, just an example, is to then create an environment whereby public-private partnership kind of arrangement. But the relationship between the public and private sector should also be conducted in a milieu of mutual trust, respect, and zero tolerance for corruption or capture. Because one of the problems we have with the private and other non-state actors is that they are always looking for how to capture the state, how to swindle the state. But with the initiative of our governor, we have, at least at the state level, we have seen the instrument where all those possibilities are actually at least managed. And in that kind of a context, we must therefore ensure that the cooperation between public and private sector must be enduring. That is at the national level. Now, let's now come to our state. In our state, what we should do is to sustain the movement towards through federalism. Well, that's also part of federal, but at least at the state level, the relationship between the state and local governments should also not be adversarial or suffocating. That is true. So now, for me, because time is spent, let me just go to exactly what we should take from the Seyi Makinde administration as he navigated the present. What we should take that will then become enduring way forward. First, the governor, sir, should help to institutionalize all those things you have actually introduced. And institutionalizing them means that please find opportunity and ways, and I'm happy that the Speaker of the House of the State Assembly is here. We have to codify and put this into law. What are those things that we should put into law? First, the planning process. We have to legalize it so that the person coming after you will be compelled to at least do what you have done, which is have a roadmap. If you didn't come with one, I'm getting the official development plan because the assembly will ask you, where's your roadmap? Secondly, the state of the state address, which is the hallmark of accountability and transparency, should also be made mandatory by also legalizing that, by actually ensuring that we have laws backing those initiatives. Also, we already have the OSIPA is there, and other institutions like anti-land grabbing and other special institutions that maintain peace and stability, including protecting the vulnerable in our society, which we have put in place. Because they are already established, the risk of them being either quashed or abandoned completely by anybody who is taking over from you or have taken over from whoever is subsequently taken over from that person. We should arrange to also give it strong legal backing. Each of them should have their own strong legal backing. But it's not just enough to give legal backing, it's also important to make them justiciable. And the Chief Justice is here. Let them be subject to penalty for not complying. Because if they are just there like section 2, chapter 2 of the national, of the national constitution, which is there, but nobody is, respecting it.